Welcome back, Weebs and Gamers. This is EIJI, back with another deck profile. Today I'll be doing it on my next Hololive deck that I have, which is going to be, it's pretty much a Gen 0 deck, really. It does have like a few cards here and there that are in Gen 0, but for the most part it is like a complete Gen 0 deck. Suisei is my waifu, pretty much, so yeah, and I really liked the Sora -2 soul wall deck. Now, I know this deck is not competitive, in my opinion. -2 soul wall decks are pretty much designed by Bushiroad to be unplayable, unfortunately. It's just how they've designed the game and how the rules are, and everything just compounds to that. These type of decks are just not good tournament decks to play. So that is very unfortunate, but the thing is that they do, I feel, every, like, 1 or 2 years, they always come out with, like, some sort of, like, new -2 soul wall combo for a series, and it always seems to be, like, better than the last one kind of thing. Like, they're always trying to power creep it and, like, make it more powerful and more powerful every time they kind of, like, make a new one. But it's just very unfortunate that the rules kind of go against this type of strategy. So, but it is what it is. So we'll just get right into it here. So I have my full Suisei deck box and sleeves and everything for this version of the deck. So first thing is 4 copies of this new card from the premium pack. This is the Sora runner card. So she's just literally a 2K vanilla runner. That's all she does. But honestly, that's all she needs to do. Because this deck you just needed like a good first turn play. And being a runner is very helpful. And the fact that it's free means you can never miss. It will never like fail a top check or some other stupid condition. So yeah, and because your level 1 combo does need to reverse. So, having this just be a 100% consistent runner, so you can just dodge out of the way, and then if you level up, you can run over their stuff. So, yeah, it goes very, very well in this deck. Also does combine with this next card, the 4 copies of the Sora Brainstorm. So this is just a normal, just Brainstorm salvage kind of thing. But she has the secondary effect of if one of your Gen 0s is going to be sent to waiting room, you can just pay 1 and sack her to encore them, and because normally that effect is kind of like free, but because this one is pay 1, it gets the additional effect of whatever you revive gets 3k power over the next turn, which is very nice. So you could technically revive like a runner, have it be like 5k. I mean, I don't think I would ever do that, but you can. Next we have 3 copies of this Hachima card. So she's technically not Gen 0, but I did need to play at least like some red level 0 to kind of like offset for the red in this deck. So there's a few different choices you could play. Like you could play this, or you could play just like the Miko Drop Surge, or you know, a few other tech cards you could play. But I just wasn't using this in anything, and I do feel that this deck, you don't really have like a ton of mill options per se, other than just the 4 copies of the Brainstorm. So, if I was gonna switch this for anything, it would probably be the Choco, actually, because she does have just come and play Mill 3 for free, as well as her other effect. But this Hachima is pretty nice, because she's just on attack, gives someone 1k, which can help with your runner, because your runner is only base 2k. And then, she also has, when she's reversed, you can just reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If there's a climax in there, you can add it to your hand and discard a card. But the good thing about this effect is that if you don't reveal a climax, you don't actually have to ditch any cards. So she essentially just becomes a Mill 3 for free at that point. So, pretty cool card. And then the other red card that you mandatorily have to play at level 0 is this Roboco, because it is part of the standby package. So, she basically has the effect of, she's the standby card, so, like, when you place a climax, you can, like, return her to your hand and give someone 1k over turn. A lot of standby decks have that kind of effect. But she also has the effect of come and play. You can return 2 Hololive characters in your waiting room back to your deck, and then give someone 1k of return again. So the whole point of that is because the Sora level 3 needs multiple copies of her in your deck. So you use this to shuffle them back and then summon them and yeah, go to town. So works pretty well. Next we have 2 copies of this Bay card. I'm playing this mainly just because, well, this is just a good card in general, but Bay is like also one of my favorite Hololive girls. Her effect is just the pay 1, ditch 1, look at top 3, take anything card. But those type of effects are very useful in standby decks because you can just discard like dead high level cards in your hand to standby them out. Also allows you to dig for the more copies of the climaxes because you absolutely do want to like hit standby right away as soon as you hit level 1, and then for the rest of the game you basically want to be playing a gold bar every turn. Her allowing you to just search for climaxes potentially, her and the Hachima basically, just allows you to slam gold bar every turn pretty much. And then 2 copies of this Suicide card. So this is also kind of just like a hand filter card for if you get too many high levels stuck in your hand. So you just come and play, ditch 1, choose a card in your clock, add it back to your hand, and then take a damage. Also has the on attack look at 2 rearrange effect, which can help sometimes with standby and stuff. So, and then the last level 0 is the Suisei Climax Swapper. So normally this would be like worse than most of the other Climax Swappers for the other Hololive decks. But because this one is when it's sent to waiting room. But in standby, this card is actually kind of better because you can standby it back to your stage and then like just overplay it, or just have it die, and then you get the climax swap effect. Whereas the other ones normally you have to like play them from hand. So this Suisei card is pretty helpful for that. Yeah, like Hololive got like 4 different climax swappers. It's like pretty crazy. And then moving on to level 1, we have 4 copies of the Miko level 1. So she is the just on reverse with standby salvage, which normally you would think, ooh, that's not very good. And to be honest, it really isn't that good. You're not actually really using it for the climax combo effect. It's kind of just there because you already need to play a level 1 standby, or like already need to play standby at level 1 anyway. So you might as well just play the salvage climax combo that goes with it, basically, right? Yeah, you don't really care about the salvage too much. Sometimes, you might if you need like certain cards back to your hand. But generally speaking, even if you just get like 1 copy of this off, just like play standby, get 1 reverse, 1 salvage, summon your level 2 back row Sora, you're pretty much good to go. Like, you don't really care after that. That's all you really need to do. And then the only other level 1 I play is just 3 copies of this Roboco. I think it's some other decks I just play 2, but in this build, since your level 1 is all red, and your Miko does need power pumps, so I just find this Roboco is like super helpful for that. And she also has the ditch cards from hand, and top check and salvage and stuff. So yeah, just upped it to 3 for this deck because I do feel that's like the next best level 1 to play besides just your combo. And then moving on to level 2, so this is the Sora level 2 back row. So this is pretty much the main card of the deck that you always want to standby out when you play standby at level 1. I do play other cards for if you like happen to trigger standby in your battle phase, but whenever you play standby, you always want to summon this card at level 1. So she's just a level support to front, so she does give your Miko like at least extra 500 when you stand by her. And then she also has a come and play from your hand. You can ditch bond to the level 3 Sora. And then also the third effect, the most important one, is change. So change is like the old, super old way of getting out higher level cards earlier than you're supposed to. Pretty much is non-existent in WEISS nowadays. But again, like I said before, they're always trying to up the ways that -2 soul walls can be more powerful, and this is definitely up there for sure. Being able to summon level 3s at level 1 is insane, and the fact that they're also -2 soul walls when your opponent is very, very likely not going to have an answer to them. Because, like, if you early play at level 3s at level 2, your opponent can early play level 3s at level 2 and possibly out your level 3s, right? And then also level 3s have base 2 soul, meaning that they still might squeak in some damage. But if you pull off, like, 2 Sora level 3s at level 1 with -2 soul, like, what are they going to do? You know? Like, they're not going to do shit. So, it's just insane if you manage to do that. And, I mean, it's the whole point of the deck. It's what the deck's supposed to do. So, yeah. So, her effect is just pay 2, sack her, and then you summon the level 3 Sora from hand, and then the level 3 Sora does some stuff. So, yeah, you can just do that at level 1 if you stand by her out early, basically. And then, still for level 2, I play 2 of this Iris. So this is kind of just the generic, like, 2/2 standby target you would play in most standby decks. This is actually a clone of the Sword Art Online Liz one, which is actually a very good card. It's, like, regarded as, like, one of the best standby kind of targets, because she just has a pay. If she's the only card in your front row, you can pay 1 to rest her. So she basically always just has, like, pay 1 encore for the most part, as long as the rest of your board has died. Yeah, just 2 copies, because she's not really the main point of the deck. The main point is the back row Sora. And then finally just 1 copy of the Suisei counter. Just always gotta play at least, like, 1 counter. And then moving on to level 3, so we have 4 copies of the Sora level 3. So again, you can summon this at level 1. And then she has the effect of when she comes into play from your hand, so it triggers from the level 2, you pay 1 and summon another copy from your deck. And then she also triggers from deck as well. So if you have, if you summon 1 from your hand, and then if you have 2 more in deck, you can summon a second one, pay 1 again, summon a third one, which is absolutely bonkers if you manage to do that. I find most of the time I just pull off 2, either just because I don't have enough stock or whatever, or, you know, I just don't have all the copies in my deck, or however it works out. But that is, in theory, you can play 3 level 3s at level 1. And the fact that she also gets like plus 2k, so she's like 11k, -2 soul all with gold bar. It's pretty ridiculous if you manage to get that off for multiple turns in a row. Moving on to the more level 3s, we have 2 copies of this Miko card. So she's just kind of like the level 3 back row card, just 2k to everything in front of her. She has come and play heal if you do happen to play her from your hand, because you only play these 2 and 2 copies of the Suisei level 3 as your only healers. So she does help if you just need like a heal. And then she also has a brainstorm effect as well. But you probably won't be using that a lot of the time, but it is there if you need it. And then, again, 2 copies of the Suisei level 3, just for more early play heals. And final level 3 is 2 copies of the new Suisei level 3 from the premium pack. So this is a pretty cool effect, because this deck also technically doesn't play like a finisher, because you just play -2 soul wall and then like heals and stuff. So this Suisei is just like a generic finisher. She doesn't have the climax combo. So she just come and play, draw 1, she gets 2k, and then when she reverses someone, you can just pay 1 to burn 1. So just very good generic card, helps just like, sometimes squeak in that little bit of extra damage. And then moving on to the climaxes is just 4 copies of the Miko climax and 4 copies of the Sora gold bar. And that is it, guys. If you like the deck, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I do think that this deck is not like one of the competitive decks for Hololive, but it is a very fun deck, and I have always liked -2 soul walls. I just wish that they were more viable in WEISS, I guess. That is the unfortunate truth. But yeah, that's it, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and this is EIJI'S signing out.